Hi, welcome to Chat Communications Happenings and Trends. The following story was a viewer request. If you have a story that you would like us to feature on here, please DM us at Actify Chat. Thank you.
So, a local Native American tribe in Lyon, Nevada, in a little town of Yerington, Nevada, is now suffering due to the EPA's new, removal of a water site that was set to be cleaned by the EPA and, of course, continually monitored and tested. Now, this water site was contaminated by a company, a mining company that is no longer in operation, but it is now owned by BP. Let's see. So this is also amid Scott Pruitt's offering, about 30% cuts to the EPA. And again, they removed this site and it was on a list for immediate attention, basically, so that they could continually monitor the water and also go through the cleaning process of said water. Now, BP at a subsidiary of BP, Atlantic Richfield. Yes, I read Richfield. Atlantic Richfield was offering water to the tribe, clean water that they would home deliver, periodically, probably pretty much almost every day, I guess it doesn't matter. But they would deliver bottled water to the tribe because they did not have access to clean water. Now they have suspended that program in the midst of the EPA's announcement to remove this site from the list, because then they would be responsible, in addition with the state, to actually clean this site. Now, since the suspension, they have, offered water again to the tribe, but the tribe is now responsible for going out of their reservation to actually pick up the water. So just to give you guys some context, back in 2000, it was discovered that 90 million gallons of toxic chemicals had spilled from an old World War II mine that had actually been abandoned, and it spilled into the water that this Native American tribe used. And so since 2004, BP had been offering clean water for this tribe, of course, which they have now stopped that program. One thing that should also be noted is that non-Native Americans or local communities there were able to sue the company and get reimbursed to some extent for the trouble, that they had to go through because of the contaminated water. And the Native Americans have yet to reach any type of settlement or agreement because of this. So I think this kind of goes in line with kind of this water crisis we're going to be encountering, and also the scarcity of water, or at least clean water in American communities, not just Native American communities. Of course, it seems like Native Americans tend to be more impacted because general society doesn't give a shit for some reason, and they should, because everybody's impacted by this, not just Native Americans. And Native Americans don't need to be impacted by this, even if it was just them. They have a right to clean drinking water as well. It's infuriating. And I don't know if you have heard this, but I heard Nestle CEO basically saying that humans don't have a right to water. So I'm sure that he would probably agree that they especially don't have a right to clean drinking water, even though we need water to live and survive. We can't live without it. We die within 3 days of not drinking water. So yeah, we should have a right to water. I'm sorry. It should not be all privatized. And I think this goes to a more critical aspect of privatizing essential services as well, because when you privatize essential services, they're not in the business of assuring that you have clean water. They're not in the business of assuring that you have anything that would be essential for survival. They're in the business of making profit. And if that profit is impacted because you're surviving, then they don't want you to survive, right? Because it cuts into their bottom line. So we cannot have the privatization of water. And so one thing that was also mentioned in this article by the AP concerning this is that the Native Americans weren't willing to reach agreement or haven't been able to because the EPA was the only agency that had the legal right to, I guess, test the water and things like that and be on the reservation. And this private company does not have that right. And understandably so. I mean, they have a right to not trust this private company because this private company is the one that's poisoned them in the first place. So it seems like they would be more invested to cutting corners and anything along those lines than assuring that the Native Americans have what they need and that they actually clean up the water. And it also mentioned in the article that even if they were to reach an agreement today, that the cleanup process probably wouldn't even begin for another 4 years. And that's an insanely long time to not even try or not even start to do the cleanup process. At least that's what someone that has worked very closely with this Native American tribe and also is involved in environmental protections and things like that has stated. This is frustrating. I think I say that in every video we do, that this is frustrating, of course. So Janet, kind of what is your take on this situation?
I mean, the whole thing is just completely frustrating. It's here we are once again. I mean, I think I seen a report. There's like 3,000 places or something, 3,000 different communities in the United States that has contaminated water. And, we continue adding to that. We continue, fracking and doing all this stuff. And here we are, we can't even take care of the people that have already suffered from contamination of water, and we're just going to take that away, and we're going to drop the EPA, and the federal government is going to leave everything to the state to do, and the federal government's not going to go in and help these people anymore.
Well, I mean, this EPA under the Trump administration, they have no interest in doing that. They're paid off by private corporations to assure that our air continues to get contaminated, our water supply continues to be contaminated, our food supply continues to be contaminated, because again, doing anything to actually assure that we have a safe drinking water and anything safe consumable to us in which we utilize cuts into their bottom line. It does not assure their profits. They are able to get more profits if they pollute, if they damage their environment and our environment. It's just, this model is so selfish and so self-serving that it hurts millions of people for a few people that profit. And it's so corrupt that I really think that at some point people are going to break. Like, people can only really be pushed so far. And that's what I think we're trying to do here with this, is say, like, this is what's going on. Hopefully we can have in some solutions or some solutions so that people don't break. Because when people break, they go fucking crazy. And I don't want to be here for that. Now, I know there are some people on the super, super, super left that want to fight the revolution and, be armed and things like that. I don't want to see that happen, because all of these problems are solvable, period. They're just not getting solved because it's not in the interests of the corporations to solve them. And the people on top are not listening to us. I said, people can only be pushed so far.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. And no, we shouldn't let it come to that, but it's not like, I mean, no matter how much a lot of us are telling them, look, you have to take care of these people. You can't go out and privatize everything. You need to give people, I mean, water is a right. It's a right. I mean, we were put here with water, and water is like the source of life. And they're gonna take that away and make people pay for it. I mean, what are they gonna like bottle up air next and make us pay for air? I mean, that's probably where it's coming, going to. I'm asthmatic, so I'm pretty sure like we're gonna end up there soon. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. We can't, they can't be charging people for clean water.
Charge them to buy the poison stuff too, like in Flint with their water bills. Insane. So, I mean, this privatized model just isn't working. And for those that believe it is working, like you were saying, I really think that they're too comfortable, right? Because they have no perspective of what it's like to struggle, what it's like to, eat poison food and breathe poison air on the daily, right? Or it's out of sight, out of mind, right? It's hidden from view. And so it's like, it doesn't affect, I think, again, when did we have this conversation about like this kind of corrosive individualism where if it doesn't affect me and mine, then everything's okay. Then I don't care, right? I did my stuff. It's like, okay, now whose back are you, stepping upon for your own comfort? You know what I mean? Like, there's probably somebody that you don't even know that's suffering because you're comfortable. You get me? Or there's, and if there isn't, there was, right? Because we didn't all just poof out of existence now. Society didn't just poof out of existence now. It was built. It was built by somebody on somebody's back with somebody's labor and hard fights. You know what I mean? And so, no, somebody before you came along and assured that you would be comfortable. And this is how you repay them? It just, I can't even, I'm at a loss for words.
It reminds me of like the time, and he says this all the time, but I mean, one time he was asked, and it was about the Native Americans, Bernie was asked something about like, why do you come out and support the Native Americans? And he said, like, until the people amongst us that have the least, that are hurting the most, are helped, then as a country, we can't stop. We need to make sure that everybody, everybody's helped.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's spot on. I think that we are failing as a society. I think we are. Like I said, it's only a matter of time before people break. If they haven't even started, I'm sure we're probably seeing that happen now. It's just maybe not being widely reported, or there's an anger in the country. We feel it. Deep anger. People are angry, and the elites in their little bubbles, some of them get it. I read, maybe last year about how some of these like rich folks were basically building bunkers for themselves for when people try to overthrow them, and are stockpiling their own weapons so that they can defend themselves against the poor, which is kind of stupid. It's like, you have the power to actually do something, but instead what you're going to do is keep hoarding all the money and basically go into hiding. Good luck with that. So some people get it. They just don't really care, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, something's going to break. It's just a matter of time, unless we can get through to them. Like I said, I keep saying this is solvable. This is solvable. This is solvable. It is. It just is. How about we just say, like, we're done with fucking corporations taking over? Like, we're done. We got to get money out of politics. That will really help too, because they have right now, corporations have a larger influence. In fact, the major influence on our politicians. Get those politicians out. Why do we accept that it's a politician, they're lying? They're not fucking lawyers. Don't hire lawyers to be politicians or something. You know what I mean? We can't accept that anymore. We just can't.
You just listened to another episode of Chat, Communications, Happenings, and Trends. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Also, head on over to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/ActifyChat and help us bring more content to you by supporting us. Thank you, and keep fighting the good fight, my friends.